Simmons believes the Philadelphia 76ers' recent behavior is exacerbating his mental health issues, and that the team wants to deem him fit to force him to play regardless of what he tells the team's mental health therapist. That's what his agent, Rich Paul, told The Athletic on Thursday. Clutch CEO, that is Rich Paul, said, "I truly believe the fines, the targeting, the negative publicity shined on the issue. That's very unnecessary and has furthered the mental health issues for Ben. Either you help Ben or come out and say he's lying. Which one is it?" Okay. The 76ers team told The Athletic on Thursday it is, quote, absolutely not the case that they are forcing his return, that's Ben Simmons' return, or accusing him of lying. The team's position is that he should partake in all team activities until there is information from its mental health professional, or Simmons, that would preclude him from playing. Now, NBA analyst Tim Legler joins me. Legs, just give me your reaction to what you just heard.
I think the first thing that jumps into my mind is this. I think what's going on all along here is financial games that both sides are playing. Basically, what it comes down to is Philadelphia 76ers are trying to figure out a way, as long as Ben Simmons is away from the team, that they don't have to pay him. And as long as Ben Simmons is unwilling to basically get the help that he needs from the Sixers staff, and says that he's going to his own people and is not going to divulge what that entails. As long as that goes on, the Sixers feel like, well, then we don't have to pay you. And Rich Paul is trying to make sure that his client gets paid during this time he's away from the team. So this really, to me, all this is wrangling about money. That's really what it is, because right now I think Philadelphia even clearly understands forcing Ben Simmons back to the court and squeezing him financially, that's not necessarily in the best interest of the team from a basketball standpoint, because you got a guy out there that's not emotionally invested in playing, that never thought in a million years he would be in this situation where the season would have started and he is still technically a member of the Philadelphia 76ers. So it's not about getting Ben Simmons back to the court right now because you think he can help you win, because I don't think he'd be mentally ready to play or help you in any way. He's not invested in it. I don't think it's a healthy locker room for Ben Simmons right now. So it doesn't make a lot of sense. And for Ben Simmons, he's trying to do anything he can to prolong playing so that eventually he can get moved and find a new start in his basketball career somewhere else. That's really what's going on here.
It's interesting to me, Legs, because this topic is fraught, even to discuss right now in the media, because of the seriousness of mental health issues, especially as a public subject. You want to take it seriously because a lot of people out there need help, and they're in various ways shamed to get it or afraid to get it or need to figure out how to get it, and we don't want to undermine the seriousness of it. And at the same time, I think the public recognizes the financial motive on Ben Simmons' side to claim it, right? Because it protects the money. Also, we should say what you brought up is I think also right. Ben Simmons did seem strangely blocked in terms of shooting. He's like mentally and emotionally he just wouldn't shoot the ball. And then given the way the city's reacting to him, you could see where someone would be in a position where they are emotionally kind of disturbed by the whole situation. So is this something do you see this as posturing on both sides? Is there some truth underneath it all?
Here's where I think this is all really stemming from, Mac. Look, everyone saw what happened in the Atlanta series. Now, we had seen moments with Ben Simmons before where there was clearly something going on with his confidence or his lack of aggressiveness, whatever it may be. But in the most pressurized situation he had been in, which is the Atlanta series, in a series that they were favored to win, they're number one seed, they're playing at home, they're in a game 7, and really throughout the series, 5 fourth quarters, he didn't attempt a field goal in those 7 games, but particularly the closeout game, game 7. We know how he looked. It was real. It's undeniable. There was something going on with his confidence. A fear of failure had gripped him and prevented him from just being a normal point guard in this league and what that looks like. That was obvious. And I think Ben Simmons knew immediately he couldn't play in Philly anymore after that. He never expected this after what he told them in the summer, that this would get into the season, he would still be there. I think the Sixers have really misplayed this by thinking there was any way Ben Simmons could come back and play for this organization again the way that he had such a public meltdown and was exposed the way he was. Not in that city. He had to move move on, and the Sixers should have known it, and they never should have let
to the team. Simmons has been thrown out of practice by Doc Rivers. You stink, Simmons! All right, for more, let's welcome back Doris Burke and Tim Legler. Doris, what are you most looking forward to tonight?
I want to see DeAndre Ayton play. This is a young man who did not get the contract he hoped for. And he's, quote, very unhappy, according to Adrian Wojnarowski. And what strikes me about DeAndre Ayton is it was his growth and maturity a season ago that really helped propel this team to the finals. Chris Paul, profound. Devin Booker, of course, profound. This guy was asked to guard elite centers in each round, and he tried to meet that challenge nightly. He regressed as a scorer because he had to set screens for Chris Paul and for Devin Booker. He did everything the organization asked. That maturity will be tested. Yes, they have continuity, but how does this guy come out tonight?
That's a great point. How about, oh no, this is me. I'm going with the Rockets' Jalen Green before we even get to legs. Okay, look, no Cade Cunningham? All right, I want to see Jalen Green. And by the way, I know LeBron James has changed the paradigm. People want to see the LeBron guy who can also pass and run the offense. I'm sorry, my favorite is still the dude who can jump out the gym and score electrically like Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. Not to put this on Jalen Green, but that's the kind of player I love to watch. What's up, Legs?
I'm going with Joel Embiid. Is there anybody right now more fascinating in the league because of the response that he's going to give to this nonsense in his mind that he's dealing with in Philadelphia with a co-star that he views as weak mentally? Joel Embiid wants to come out tonight and show everybody in that building, everybody in that organization, every one of the Sixers fans watching, the media, everybody in that market, I got this, don't worry. This is what a superstar looks like. His response is going to be emphatic tonight.
He didn't play enough games, or he'd have won MVP last year.
I had him as a front runner until he went down.
Yeah, I thought Harden was the best per game. Embiid would have been MVP, but also missed a few too many. And Jokic, I mean, there's so many great players. All right, look. Today, 76ers head coach Doc Rivers, speaking again to the media, had this to say about Ben Simmons.
I don't think people understand, like, coaching sometimes, you want all your players to do well. You cheer for your players. Even when they're in a tough spot, you want it to go well for them. When you're put in positions like yesterday, or in general, this whole, it's no fun, that part of it. But you don't give up the fight that you can get it right. So it's a predicament that we're in, and that part is no fun. It really isn't. We get to play right now. Ben's not. I want Ben to be playing. That's his job. I don't like any player losing money. Like, there's so many things about this that I don't like. But that doesn't mean you still don't have to do your job, and that's the tough part.
Doris, your reaction to what Doc just said.
Can I just say how different Doc felt today compared to yesterday? You could tell he cares about his players because yesterday he was agitated. And throwing Ben out was probably, as Kendrick Perkins said, premeditated, but it affected him. But if anybody can handle this as an organization, and in particular a head coach, it's Doc Rivers. He was calm, he was eloquent, and they're going to need every bit of that because I think this is a long, protracted situation.
Legs, Simmons surely has played his last game for the Sixers, right? I mean, can he possibly play for the
Well, I don't know what the date of that game was, Game 7 against Atlanta, whatever that date was. I said surely it was the last game he'd ever played. The next morning on SportsCenter, after that game, before any of this nonsense happened, because I know, number one, what I watched. I know what Doc Rivers felt, what Joel Embiid felt. The trust was gone. The doubt was going to linger. And for Ben Simmons, he knew, playing there for 4 years, this is a very difficult building to walk back into the way that played out, because now that fan base smelled fear. It's a very difficult city to live in as an athlete if they sense that. And he knows it. And he knows he didn't eradicate the problem. He didn't address it. He hasn't fixed it. It's still there. Guess what? Wherever he ends up, it's still going to be there, but hopefully there's pieces in place in terms of ball handling, scorers, and things that can hide it more. When you're the point guard and you don't take a shot in 5 fourth quarters in a 7-game series, there's a problem you can't get past. So I said it then, Max, so clearly I feel that way now. And look, they might force him back to the court financially. If that's what they want to do, you want to squeeze him and eventually he caves and plays, great. Is that what you want?
Well, I think that Daryl Morey wants to sell as high as he can, right? And Doris, when I think about Ben Simmons, in the history of basketball, he's listed at 6'10". Mm-hmm. Give me the combination of speed, handles, court vision, passing ability, defense and defensive versatility.
Correct.
Like, he doesn't want to give the guy away, right?
I'm going to say this. The resolve in Philadelphia is real. They feel like they need a difference maker. The issue is he is going to sabotage the season. So it's unlikely you win a championship if this is long and protracted. If you sell short of his value, you're going to sell short on using Joel Embiid as a linchpin, and you're still going to fall short of a championship. There is no good option here for the Philadelphia 76ers. You know, maybe you're hanging out to see what happens in Portland with Damian Lillard and maybe with Bradley Beal, but we're a long way away from that, and the damage that can be done in the interim is significant.
Yeah, I love her point. The movie Argo, of all the bad options, this is the best one.
That's the definition of a dilemma,
And that's
a choice
really,
between bad options.
That's what they have. And to me, there's three. And the best one now for them is to move them, because what are the other two options? Force a guy to play for money only that doesn't want to be there. Good luck, Doc Rivers, trying to manage that mess. Just keep him home, suspend him, whatever you have to do, or pay him to stay away. Now you're short an all-star caliber talent. You haven't replaced him with anybody. That's not a good scenario.